Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Mufc Realist TV and Mick Ruby. I'm your host. I just decided to go live today. It's Friday, a little bit chill spaces, have my coffee, just reflecting and viewing what's been going on in the press, in the media around Manchester United, Erik ten Hag, and the fan base in general. I think it's been a quite controversial week in terms of interesting things that's been going on. So the things that I want to talk about is basically from our personal standpoint. We are super grateful that we have achieved 10K subscribers in a short period of time. But in terms of what we've seen this week is, the Europa League, of course, yesterday's win. We grafted, we stuck together as a team, and still, jumping on some spaces, listening to fans, what they had to say in review, it just come to conclusion that the PTSD, the negativity still exists within the fan base, which is a little bit saddened, but it's understandable from a perspective that, for the past 5, 6 years, what we've seen has been just misery, like on the pitch from who we appointed as manager, what we brought in as a players. But with Erik ten Hag and the rebuild, I feel that there's a positive wins happening. Hence, I felt like the urge for coming and just talk to you like on a Friday chill. This is a call-in show, definitely. The link is in the video description. You can always hit and like and subscribe, take a breath, just think about the weekend ahead. Sunday, we are playing Newcastle at Theatre Dreams, and that's going to be, oh boy, cracking game. Now, let's talk about certain things what's kind of bothering me, like after being some spaces, I kind of jumped on devil in the details, Danny spaces, and I was listening as an observer, and you can just clearly listen and just feel that there is a contempt of some player agenda. People are jumping on Bruno, people still slagging on certain players. But of course, we understand as fans, we want to be successful, we want United to be great. But at the end of the day, the way I see it from my lenses is that it's the Erik ten Hag's way of playing. He picks the team, he picks the playing squad, and we are consumers. Like of course, it's valid that we have certain agendas and opinions. We want certain players to play, but at the end of the day, it's the managers that choose. It's the managers that sets up the team. It's the manager that sort of instills the playing mentality, the fighting spirit, and from my point of view, the way I saw it is we stuck it together. We had 35 shots on target. The goalkeeper was sublime, but the ball just didn't want to go in. It's just the Newton's law of gravity, isn't it? Like, but at the end of the day, what comes up must go down. So the ball needs to end up in the net. And boy, oh boy, Scooby-Doo, it is not Fergie time anymore. It's called Ten Hag time. So unfortunately, it was not in the 10th minute. It was in the 5 minutes extra time. So I kind of felt never a little bit of a nervous. I was kind of getting edgy towards the end, but I never had that feeling that we will lose the game. But if we would have lost the game, the knife would be out and sharp. And this is something that I don't want. I have zero tolerance for negativity. I have zero tolerance for not backing the team this time around. We need to give the manager, the playing squad, a shadow of a doubt. And what we've seen is, what I like about Erik ten Hag is pretty much you have to fight for your place, basically. Tyrone Malacia came back in, of course, I thought he did well. Then we saw he was substituted by, Luke Shaw came in, and Luke Shaw is actually looking sharp. So what we're seeing now is a mentality of togetherness. We are starting to play as a team, not as individuals. What we saw with under Ole, for instance, what many people was calling individual brilliance of moments, which just kind of feel like a relief. We are like kind of how many games into the season, and we're starting to see this togetherness, the fighting spirit, never to give up, the kind of the old Fergie times, like fight to the end, to the referee blows the whistle. Now Rashford for me looks very, very sharp and potent. Rashford is back to his old. Who else did I think did well? Like Victor Lindelof was the Iceman. really, really great to see United pushing high up on the pitch. The centre backs are playing high up. Lindelof was actually quite good, playing in a good partnership. We see information starting to form, you know, people starting to gel with each other. Dos Santos is starting to also find his feet as well. Of course, amazing achievement that he started 3 games, 3 Premier League games, and scored in 3. And he had actually an opportunity yesterday. But in terms of, the good old Frankie story, they just don't want to go away. This is something that, I fell by the sword by following over the summer. And, I was always, baffled by the finances of Barcelona, and now you're seeing a lot of reports coming out, even from the Daily Mirror. There was a publication about 16 hours ago that I kind of want to sort of read over and sort of put my thoughts to it, and really, do we want to go through that saga again? That's the big question. Like, that is the PTSD that even I'm suffering from. So let's have a look at. Let's have a look at the article that I was kind of reading, and let us walk it through together. I want you to comment. I want you to put your comments to it. If you have any questions, just type a comment, and let's talk about it together. Like, let's debunk it. Like, have any comments? Like, I see these people online. Don't be shy to actually, drop a comment, and I can sort of debunk it with you. But if we look at the article that was published about 16 hours ago by Pete Jensen's been quite vocal regarding the Frankie story. He's even been reporting that Frankie is unhappy and that he regretted not to sign with Manchester United after the transfer window is closed. But it's basically he's looking into it, an out of control wage bill, basically, where DeJonge is up for sale. Like, what does this mean, basically? So Barcelona went all in over the transfer window. Like, they sold off the future. That's the way I see it. They sold out the media rights, they sold a certain percentage, and they went out to buy players, even if they were, billions and billions in debts, right? They were all banking on a strategy to, qualify deep into the Champions League. But what we see now, what happened yesterday or the day before, Barcelona is looking very, very dark. It's looking very dark for Barcelona, sitting in third place, as you can see, with 2 games to go, playing in Bayern Munich, for instance. So there's a big chance that they will not even qualify. So what does that mean for Laporta and Barcelona? That means that, after pushing the deferred wages and everything and debts to the creditors, they just basically pushed it forward, right? So what happens if they don't qualify? This article tells that Barcelona's place in the Champions League is currently hanging by a thread. Barcelona has budgeted to reach the quarterfinal stage as a minimum. An early exit could reportedly see the Spanish giants lose about 18 million pounds. That's a lot of money, 18 millions. And remember, this is something, the money that they've been sort of counting on, like, having going all in, like, putting all the eggs in one basket, buying Lewandowski and everything. They are out of control in their terms of the wage bills, and missing out would call for more sales. Mark my words, more sales. So Frankie de Jong, who fought so hard to stay, according to the Daily Mail, would be back on the market. Now, the question is, do we want him back? What do you think? This article is kind of echoing what I've been saying all along, right? So, the kind of the reason, Frankie was always a Barcelona player. He was under the contract, and they kept him for the Champions League places, right? They still owe him money, though. They still haven't paid him. But if they don't reach the quarterfinals or qualifying through the Europa League, if they fall down to, Champions League, and they fall down to the Europa League, it's game over, Red Rover. That's pretty much the way it is. So that means that they need to actually sell the assets, the commodities. It's a shambles. It's absolutely shambles how you can run a club like that. And of course, they are not publicly listed companies, so they can sort of fry the books as much as they want. So kind of this article goes more into deep in terms of, in terms of how they've been run. which is maybe shambles. But what you thinking. Let me know. Do you want him? Do you want us to go, deep into the summer window to go through a Frankie saga again? Personally, I don't know. I think Casemiro was the man of the match, and Casemiro we bought for to play as a CDM. But actually, if you look at Casemiro's contract, I mean, his playing career, not contract. It's interesting fact that where he used to play, before he joined Real Madrid, he used to play as an attacking midfielder, and only at Real Madrid, he was a CDM. But boy, is he starting to find his feet. So, question is, do we really need a Frankie when we do have a Casemiro? It's a world champion Casemiro, 5 Premier Leagues from not Premier League, sorry, too much coffee. I mean, 5 Champions Leagues and La Liga champions. So, I think that at the end of the day, it comes down what the manager want. Even crazy links that were linked to Mbappe this week as well, which is kind of, yeah, understandable. Like, he's not happy. He regrets that he signed for Real Madrid. But where do we kick on as a club from here? Do we sacrifice what Eric Ten Hag has built, with the team, the spirit, the togetherness that we see today, by disrupting the apple cart, by bringing in such a player, such an Mbappe, for instance? That's the big question. Fahim Faisal, welcome to the chat. Let's see. Let's see if I can read this, Fahim. I need to zoom into this. Oh, crappers. I cannot read it. It's too small of a screen, man. Let me just see. Let me just go to the live. Sorry, Faisal. I know. Let me just go to my YouTube channel so I can actually read what you wrote, because here on my studio I don't really see. Hang on a second, mate. It's kind of a Friday chill space. Just freebasing a bit, you know what I mean? Give me a second. Yes, I am live. I can see that. Let me go. Let me see your comments. Let me read what you wrote. If Frankie becomes available, we should go for him, since there's no player comes close to him who carries the ball from the deep, which we lack for now. Moreover, Ericsson then can be shifted to number 10. Seriously, that's a really valid point, mate. That is very good point. I mean, we're starting to shape at the moment, but at the moment there's a controversial discussion. Like, we don't really have a proper number 10 with Bruno. Like, a lot of people slagging Bruno. He's too quick of not holding the ball. He's just so fast at delivering. So we need somebody that will carry the ball. I can get that, for sure. Definitely. Definitely. I mean, what else? What else can we think about? Let me see what else? You tell me, mate. Casemiro plus Frankie De Jong is class midfield duo. Absolutely nailed, mate. That sends shivers down my spine. Imagine having Casemiro plus Frankie De Jong. You can kind of start to convince me, Faisal, to actually go speak to Eric, like say, hey, Ten Hag, go and buy him, go buy him. Now, but seriously, it's a world class player. We should consider it if the money is there, definitely. But there is also the rumors of the goalkeeper, which is Diego Costa. I think he was from Porto, because De Gea's contract is up in the summer as well. The question is, he's the highest paid goalkeeper. And I know there's a lot of agenda against De Gea. The way I've seen he's improved his, ball distribution over the summer. Definitely, you can see he's coming off his lines. He's being better at his feet. He's throwing out the ball, distributing ball better. But the question is, do we retain or do we buy an upcoming De Gea replacement who is 22, comes from Porto, is quite well spoken about? 22 is still a young age, considering that a mature goalkeeper over the age of 30 is a very, very much experienced goalkeeper. But the game is changing. The goalkeepers are more acting like a last sweeper keeper, center back. So for me, if there is money, we can definitely look at it, explore. But in terms of the midfield, I say that whatever Ten Hag wants, because I know that Eric Ten Hag wanted Frankie, over the summer. Uh, the fact that it didn't happen was that just down to poor planning of the agency of Frankie, but also the Barcelona's going all in for the Champions League to regain some finances. But it is a tricky one, mate. It is a tricky one. So what else do we have to think about? Um, I of course want Manchester United to be, great again, and I always keep saying that it takes one or two transfers window to challenge again. And I seriously think that this season we have an opportunity to not go for the title, but at least win a Europa League or a some form of trophy. But at least we can challenge for the third or fourth place. For me now, top four is a must. We must get top four in order to reach Champions League. We cannot just, go for, yeah, if we win Europa League, we will end up in Champions League. But for me, it's the Eric Ten Hag way. I'm super excited because I have never been excited as a United fan as I am now. I see a sort of mini prodigy of Sir Alex Ferguson. When people fighting for the places, they are like defending as a unit, basically, being resilient. I even remember Bruno Fernandes came out with a tweet like at 3 points, but what really matters was that we fought as a team. We were resilient for the 95 minutes, and he's absolutely right. But people were slagging his comments, and I keep just saying that people have short memory span. Like, people were raving about Bruno, when he first came in January window. Like, he was the pivotal transformation, change transformation, what we are today. So basically, he came in, he kicked off, he was scoring goals left, right, center. He was like the talking points of everyone, like, But of course, Bruno hasn't had a great season. I mean, he hasn't been bad, but perhaps what people forgetting is the new manager. The manager wants him to play a certain style, take care more of the ball, don't be too aggressive, be a team player. And that's what he's acting. And plus, he's been giving the captaincy, like, which is more responsibility. While, the captain Harry is not playing anymore. I mean, that's just a fake captain for me at the moment. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we kick on against Newcastle on Sunday, because Newcastle is just right behind us in the table. I think it's going to be a cracking game. So let's see. Let's see. Faisal, let's see what you're writing. Sorry, mate. Oh, God. I'm just overcooked on coffee today, actually. Seriously. DDG is improving, but we should let him go. Okay, for his salary. Okay, of course, he's the highest paid goalkeeper. I understand that, Faisal. For 375K a week, fuck. Costa should be our target next summer. He heard he has a release clause of 50 million, but we can negotiate to bring it up. Yeah, I mean, 50 million for a goalkeeper today, mate. That is the inflated price we have to pay, unfortunately. That is, we've seen ridiculous prices this year, including 100 million, almost 95 million for Anthony Dos Santos. But, that is the market, like, and it's the United tax, don't you reckon? I reckon we're being astute in the summer window. 3 weeks left of the transfer window, and there was like panic. Everyone was going, we haven't signed anyone. But I think the Eric Ten Hag had a plan. He seems to me like he has total control. He decides who comes in, who goes out, and of course, as a new manager, you don't want to get rid of your squad straight away. Any new manager that comes in wants to sort of give an opportunity to assess the existing squad, and then make up your mind. That's kind of why you don't see Harry Maguire playing that much. For instance, you see like Luke Shaw was benched. He benched Cristiano Ronaldo. He doesn't really take crap. I don't care who you are. If you CR7, you are score Mr. 700. If you're not ready, if you don't want to listen to my instructions, you sit on the bench. And this is what we are seeing. This is kind of no favoritism, which is amazing, which means that it creates a competitiveness and a willingness within the squad to fight for the badge, fight for the manager, and actually what we saw, like, in the press, I think it was yesterday that came out that this time around the players will not throw the manager under the bus. They will throw the glazes and the board under the bus, which is amazing, amazing, amazing news to my ears. Now, another thing what happened this week was the Jim Ratcliffe that came out speaking to Financial Times. We all know, we saw that in the summer, that one spokesperson of Ratcliffe came out and expressed the interest of Manchester United, but that was kind of in relationship with the late bid of Chelsea. Now it's quite interesting because I did a video, 2 days ago, I think, when I actually debunked what, looking at the body language, look at it, the joy of Sir Ratcliffe. And I kept saying that, it is similar, like, when you ask a manager about another player that doesn't belong to your club, of course he's gonna not tell you his tragedy. He's gonna say, "Yeah, I met with Joel and Avram. They're nice people. They're the nicest people. They're the owners, so they don't want to sell." But behind the scenes, he's preparing a hostile takeover. Interesting. After that, there's came out a report that the Glazers are willing to sell for $10 billion. I mean, that is just telling you the story, right? They are trying to create a bidding war. That's it. It is like being a property agent. You have a very attractive house for sale, which is called Old Trafford and Manchester United. Of course, you want to milk out as much money as possible, because one thing is for sure, there's five things what they need to sell. Number one, they don't want to invest one single penny from their own pocket to rebuild Carrington. As I keep saying, Ronaldo was surprised when he came back after so many years away to find out that there's same swimming pool in the Carrington, same training facility, nothing has been changed, same bathtubs. The stadium needs fixing, the leaks of the roof. Number three, the secret recording from the fan base with Richard Arnold, when he honestly spoke from the bottom of his heart that, hey, we burned through cash. We spent hundreds and millions, even $1 billion on players and nothing to show for. But hey, I'm here to make a difference. But in order to do so, I need investors. That was a direct message to say that the Glazers don't want him to invest one single penny. So therefore, he needs to go out and have an investment. But in general, I feel that there is a revolution going on with the new management, Richard Arnold, with a new playing staff. It's a football management decision that wants to make United great again. So therefore, I'm very, very, how can I say? I'm starting to believe, like, definitely, I don't buy merchandise from United. I don't go on I haven't been on Old Trafford for 7 years. And if I do buy any merchandise, I kind of buy it like a China counterfeit, because I want to be associated. I want to wear the badge, but I don't want to sponsor the Glazers pocket. Now, looking ahead, over the weekend, I will do a Super Sunday on Sunday, where I'm going to bring in David Lavelle again, the football agent, and it will be me and Phil Standish and probably more people. Welcome to call in, definitely. And just looking forward for this game. We are so close to reaching top four, and we do have one game in hand. Remember, people, we do have one game in hand, and I think there's a positive vibe within the fan base, within Old Trafford itself, within the United faithfuls, the match-going fans. They keep singing Glazes out. It's very, very freaking vocal, right? And I think that we will smash Newcastle on Sunday. But it will not be a smashing. I think it will be like a tight one. I think it might 2-1, 3-1. But I'm yet to think about it. I'm yet to sleep about it. And on Sunday, I will come out and I do my score prediction. But lately, I've been very positive and going like, even 4-1 thumping of ammonia yesterday. But that turned out not to be true. That was just a late score by Scooby Doo, And speaking about Scooby Doo, Eric Ten Hag got it right again. The substitution turned out to be game changers. This is the difference, people. This is the difference. Remember Ollie, 3 years he didn't make subs, like, not until the 85 minute. And who did he bring in? Did he bring in any game changes? No. What we still have waiting, in the in the background, still nursing an injury, is Donny van de Beek to come in. He can play number 10, allowing Bruno to drop down a little bit deeper and ping the passes. Or, you know, Ericsson can interchange with Bruno. So Ericsson needs rest. Bruno needs rest. We need squad depth. And the season is very long. From now on to the World Cup, how many games are we playing? Heaps, heaps, heaps. Well, yeah, you need to be clinical against Newcastle for sure. And that comes down to that we had 35 shots on target, Faisal, yesterday. 35 shots. I was frustrated. Like, I was looking at what the hell is going on. Like, chances after chances. It wasn't that we weren't playing bad. We were creating chances, but the freaking ball just didn't want to go in. And that Nigerian goalkeeper, kudos to him. Like, he had the match of his life against his, idols. He came out waxing after it on the interview. He's shining like a disco ball. He was so freaking happy. He got to play at Old Trafford, his dream. He got to play against his old idols, and he did the match of his life, mate. And the save he did against Casemiro, how the hell did he get those fingertips on that? Like, so there was even people coming on the spaces saying that we should sign him as a reserve goalkeeper. Imagine if we did that. That would be freaking amazing. Yeah, mate. So thanks for the contribution. So I am super gassed, actually. Like, and it feels great to be a United supporter. I feel, I don't know about you guys, but for the first time in 6 years, I mean, forget about Oli Ball, forget about Jose Mourinho, forget about Ragnick. Ragnick came in and started this revolution to shake the tree a bit, But yeah, I think he was quite instrumental to point Richard Arnold towards Eric Ten Hag to say, if you want to have change, if you want to have the fan base on your side, you appoint this manager. If you want to have the old shit, then you go for Pochettino. And thank God we didn't go for Poch. Thank God we have Eric Ten Hag, which, by the way, if he wins the Prem, we will rename Old Trafford to Bold Trafford. What do you reckon? We can rename it to Bold Trafford. But listen, if there's anything I forgot to mention here, what happened over the week, just let me know, because I think I covered most of the thing. The main concern that I have is the actually fan base. Like, we as a fan base need to sort of reunite. It's glory, glory, Manchester United. Basically, if Eric Ten Hag comes in with his fresh ideas, with his style of play, you know, you're playing as a team, not as an individual. You get subbed off if you're not performing, and you get rested. That is just freaking amazing. Only the best people plays that deserves to play. Before, when it used to be volleyball, it used to be like, whatever you did in training, but whatever you did on the pitch, now you got still rewarded to play the next game, the next game, the next game. Oh shit, here comes my cat in the stream. Shit can happen when you're alive, eh? Sorry, guys. Yeah, yeah, that's funny. This terrorist always comes in my streams. You've probably seen him before. His name is Mish. But guys, listen, we need to be clinical on Sunday, and let me know your score predictions. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen on Sunday? You think we're going to turn out with the shooting boots on? Do you think we're going to thump them? Do you think that we're going to show the Newcastle lesson or two? Welcome to Old Trafford. Let's make Old Trafford Theatre Dreams a fortress again. People should be afraid to come there the way you used to be. People used to go, oh no, we have Old Trafford. Fuck me. They go pissing themselves, but they just come down in the tunnel, right? They done. It should be that feeling. Unfortunately, that competitive feeling has gone, but that should also be gone when Ed Woodward left. But listen, guys, thank you very much. I just wanted to say, have a great weekend ahead. And please tune in to Super Sunday. We'll let you know. I think we go live about 1 p.m. UK time on Sunday. Please also check out the latest episode of the Football Agent Talk Show with Jonathan Diarte that was released earlier today, which is pretty much talking about the grassroots of him bringing up Lisandro Martinez, Garnacho, Donnarumma, and many more. Until then, people, stay beautiful and have a lovely Friday. Cheers, bye, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye for now.